Hey everyone, I'm Tiffany Harlick, and welcome to your June 2024 astrology forecast. If you're new here, I'm a professional astrologer and beekeeper in Texas. I'm almost 9 years sober. I have a master's in health psychology, and I'm really just passionate about helping you get biochemically regulated, and also just knowing the blueprint of the skies. So, what's in store for June, right? Let's see, we're gonna go into the astrology highlights. I'm gonna do the intention, the numerology, and then the week by week. So if you like my work, please like and subscribe and share the channel. I really appreciate it. There are many, many astrologers you could be watching, and it means a lot to me that you are here with me, enjoying my take on the skies, on the cosmos. So, just for a big picture look at June, it does look like a pretty challenging month. I think the best week of the month is going to be the first week. I have identified a couple of really solid days for you. But if you don't see the light in June, if you're experiencing a more challenging June or you're going through some trials in life, just remember, you can't always be the light, but in some circumstances, right, if you can be the light, that's going to be your best angle on looking at June. Like facing it, like, okay, I know that there's going to be some challenges up ahead, and I'm going to go at these challenges with a full cup, with my best mindset, so that I'm not rocking the boat, but I'm actually contributing to something better. All right. Yeah, we have to go through these trials to build strength. You wouldn't just jump into a marathon without some training. So think of June as like a training month for your mind. We've got a stellium of 4 planets and the new moon in Gemini. So it's a Gemini heavy month. And with that comes the benefits of Gemini and the challenges of Gemini. The numerology is a 5. And so just like we have these 5 fingers, we can extend out into the world. We can enjoy travel. We can enjoy being spontaneous. We can enjoy bouncing around, bebopping over all over the globe, but we can also overextend ourselves. And so just being considerate of what you want to stay focused on in June, because the distractions will come, the emotions that are unprocessed will come. And, I just want you to be aware of spreading yourself too thin or becoming overextended. And if you feel like that in June, you just go back to some of our basic journal questions, right? What do I want to be free from? What do I want to be free for? Where do I want to spend my precious human life in this energy? And is my mind helping me with that or not? Right? So some things, some thoughts we don't have to believe all month long. Um, we're learning to be okay in the highs and lows of the energy of June here. So the intention, right, is I experience adventure, freedom, and inner peace. This life is a treasure. All right. So now let's look at the weeklies. I mentioned the first week of June is probably the best week of June. This is the main astrology forecast. All the skies that we are all under, it affects all of us differently. So let's just see kind of what the weather forecast looks like this first week. Jupiter is going to be in a trine to Pluto, and I'm really surprised that we're not talking about this more as an astrology community, because it's two outer planets that are making a really positive aspect. It's been building, building, building. It will release on June 3rd. This is it's huge because it helps you pivot how you see God, how you understand yourself in the cosmos. Jupiter expands, not only our hearts and our horizons, but also our bellies. Pluto changes things, alchemizes, transforms things. You can move mountains. This whole transit reminds me of a time when I was going to speak at a meeting to share my story, and I was really embarrassed. I didn't really want to share my story. I felt a lot of embarrassment around it, right? Like we all do. You get nervous when you are publicly speaking and it's very personal for you. And so I went on this hike before the meeting, right? And on this hike, I was just nervous. I was taking it all to God, like, please help me. I'm a nervous wreck. I'm going to be crying. This isn't going to go well. Help me know what to say, right? Well, on my hike, somebody had left painted stones all over the trail, and they said, "You're here to move mountains." The painted stones on the trail said, "You're here to move mountains," right? So don't be afraid. Don't be embarrassed of your story. Use it to help other people. Jupiter trine Pluto at the beginning of June. You're here to move mountains, right? You're here to change things for yourself and others. Um, on a mundane level, this might look like bucket list travel. This might look like once in a lifetime experiences that you're having or planning for or dreaming about. Pluto brings radical change, right? And Jupiter helps us make it bigger. Jupiter magnifies things. Okay, so Wayne Dyer has a quote: "If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change." So true for the entire month of June. Mercury is going to enter Gemini. Mercury loves being in Gemini and Virgo, right? Is another thing. But Mercury is very happy and content to be in Gemini. Mercury rules the way we think, our brains, our central processing units, our nervous system. That's all Mercury. And in Gemini, there's a huge focus on all of those themes that Mercury and Gemini bring: siblings, transportation, neighborhoods, checklists, little information exchanges, right? Data pieces, good manners, being articulate, classes, trainings, like courses that you're building, good conversations that just keep rolling, social butterflies, elementary schools, right? Learning of all kinds. So as Mercury moves into Gemini this first week, it will also sextile Neptune, right? Which enhances your intuition, your psychic development, your imagination, your creativity. Mercury will also trine Pluto, right, alongside Jupiter. So Mercury will conjunct Jupiter, a meeting of the minds, the power of positive thinking, right? Good news, good luck, all of that good stuff is coming. And as Mercury and Jupiter are next to each other, they will form a trine, that trine to Pluto that I was talking about in the beginning. So some type of positive exposure is possible, possible, and really just this time to get things out of your head and onto paper so that you don't ruminate and overstimulate the brain. A little mythology astrology lesson. Mercury was the only child of Jupiter and Maya. So Mercury had many half siblings through Jupiter, but Mercury was the only child of Jupiter and Maya. So little astro fact for you, or mythology tidbit. So June 4th through 6th, these are going to be the best days of the whole month. So circle June 4th, allow yourself some flexibility, June 4th through 6th-ish. Why am I saying that? Because on June 4th, the Sun and Venus will trine the South Node and sextile the North Node. This is about soul connections, deja vu experiences, people that you were fated to meet, that you made soul contracts with, that you just know, that you love, that you recognize, right? And then Venus will be in Cazimi, in the heart of the sun, in Gemini. Very auspicious time when it comes to Venus topics, which is love, self-love, how we value ourselves, how we value others, what's correct for us, but also just, this big-hearted nature. So I'm going to say June 4th is one of the best days of the whole month. It's coming on the heels of good news, and then there's good news right behind it. So that's why I've isolated it. The good news right behind it is June 6th, we have a new moon in 16 degrees of Gemini. So the new moon, right, a fresh new start, a new 2.5-year cycle begins, all of that. 16 degrees of Gemini, right? There's a fixed star at 16 degrees of Gemini called Rigel. This is one I remember because I have a buddy named Rigel. His hippie parents named him Rigel after the constellation. It is Rigel, the fixed star is known, I said constellation, the fixed star is known, right, for artistic ability. And the Rigel I know is a wonderful, talented musician, very inventive, very much, part of that curiosity side of life that can create, like, just really enhance that natural talent when it comes to the artistic side of life. And so Rigel is part of Orion's Foot, and it is a fortunate star. It highlights or enhances humor, being funny, honors, riches, happiness, the technical and artistic abilities that we can cultivate. So new moon in Gemini with Rigel on 16 degrees of Gemini, to me, that's like a really positive time to make your wishes and intentions, whether you're trying to enhance your skills technically or artistically. Gemini rules the shoulders, the lungs, the hands, the wrists, right, where there's duality here. And so it's great if you are trying to learn guitar or piano or type, or things that require hobbies, business things that require using your hands, your shoulders, your lungs. So this new moon starts a new 2.5-year cycle. 9 months later, the first quarter moon in Gemini will be March 6th of 2025, and something will kick into gear. Your wishes will start to be made manifest. You'll be able to see, like, oh, that training that I'm doing is paying off. Then 9 months later, there will be a full moon in Gemini, December 4th of 2025. And you're going to always observe what's being illuminated under the full moon because more information is given to you. And so you're naturally going to want to pivot some of the things that you're dreaming about and thinking about and practicing through. Finally, the last quarter moon of this cycle will be September 4th of 2026, longer ways away. And that's when you'll have some closure and completion around whatever's brewing right now, right? So very interesting. Maybe you're working on a article that turns into a book that launches. Maybe you're gathering content and you don't even know it, and you're going to release a podcast in 2026. Things like this, things to keep in mind. So right after this June 6th new moon, the energy does take a dip. The Ram Dass quote, treat everyone you meet like they're God in drag, right? Just stay lighthearted, keep things funny. Don't take things personally. That's not always possible when you're going through a really, really hard time. But the idea here is to try to stay lighthearted about the small stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff. Venus is squaring Saturn. Remember the 5. Remember that you might be really pulled in a whole lot of different directions. You might be overcommitted. Venus squaring Saturn, there might be some expenses that you weren't expecting. There might be some responsibilities that you don't want that you're having to deal with. If you're feeling like you need an attitude adjustment around June 8th, that's probably why. Venus represents love and the warm fuzzies. It also represents our money, our finances, the way that we receive income. Saturn represents our elders and karma, structures, time, responsibility, things like this. And the square is a challenge between those two. So again, there might be something that you end up paying for that you don't want to, or have to be responsible for that wasn't really on your mind, or you might be the one causing those problems. I don't know how it's going to play out for you, but the energy does take a dip. Mars enters Taurus on June 9th, and it'll be in Taurus June 9th through the 20th, and we're starting to feel this square of Mars and Pluto. That's a really challenging one, right? So you want to keep asking, what is a dependable course of action? Taurus is dependable. Mars needs to do something about it. And so what's a dependable course of action where I can also conserve my energy, my resources, Taurus? So conserving your energy and resources while taking the next right step, doing the next right thing, not the next thing right in perfection land, just what's the next thing? What am I doing today? June 9th through 11th, there's some relationship band-aids going on. The sun squares Saturn, right? Mercury's in a trine to the south node. So something it's karmically is bubbling up, right? Life is happening from us, not to us. This shows us some steady progress, and it might be that one step forward, two steps back when it comes to relationships. Venus is sextiling Chiron. That's good, right? There's healing occurring. So can you stay open-hearted, open-handed, open to love, open to receiving and giving love, right? There's an Eckhart Tolle quote that says, non-resistance doesn't necessarily mean doing nothing. All it means is that any doing becomes non-reactive. So remember the deep wisdom underlying the practice of Eastern martial arts. Don't resist the opponent's force. Yield to overcome, okay? So I think that's great advice for this little section, June 9th through 11th-ish. The second week, the official week of June, starts on the 10th. And so June 10th through 16th, your big, I guess, overarching theme is to have no knee-jerk reactions. Can you challenge yourself? Not one knee-jerk reaction, not one outlandish, wild, reactive response, right? Can we maintain that neutrality? Mars, the square of Mars and Pluto, it can be good tension. Actions now get results, right? Something is transmuting, something is changing, and it's because of your presence, right? So it's very explosive energy. It doesn't take no for an answer. And so I want you to be able to take things in stride and also deliver in a way where people can hear it. So if you come in and you're loudmouth and you know better than everybody and you have the truth and nobody else does, people can't hear that, right? So we want to monitor the way that we are expressing ourselves so that your message can be heard if you're a message giver this second week of June. Also, just take safety precautions, right? Take all safety precautions all of June, especially this week. That's all I'll say there. June 12th through 14th, there's a lot of that Gemini mental stimulation energy. Um, Mercury is going to square Saturn, sextile Chiron, and then we'll be in Cazimi in the heart of the sun in Gemini. And so there's some challenges there that are being overcome. It's good news. It just doesn't feel like good news. May was Mental Health Awareness Month, and I don't, trigger warning, suicides are more common in May than any other month. My family has experienced that. My friends have experienced that. My practice has experienced that. It's weird. It's a weird statistic because you would think that maybe the colder, more dismal months would be that, but it's May. And so, as we're on the heels of that month, right? And we're in June and we still have this mental stimulation thing going on. I want to be really sensitive, kind, and clear about if you need mental health, mental wellness support to get it, not only through therapies, but through being biochemically regulated. So you guys know that I have a favorite brand. I drink Happy Juice. I do. I have the nootropics in my drink every morning. I have a way to biochemically regulate your hormones, your nervous system, all of that. If you need supplement support, please let me know. I'll be happy to make a recommendation for you specifically. But yeah, you want to increase your serotonin, you want to increase your dopamine levels, you want to optimize your gut health, you want to optimize the communication between your mind and your gut and your heart. And so we absolutely have resources for that. They really changed things for me. So there was only so much I could do before I needed that biochemical regulation support. And so I just am very on fire about it. Really want to support you and encourage you if you need some neutrality in your life, if you just need to be able to approach things from a neutral way without having to feel all of the feelings all over the place. This is a great, easy way to start. I'll leave a link for you guys down there. So back to Mercury, with Mercury squaring Saturn, sextiling Chiron, Cazimi in Gemini, would it be helpful to narrow down some of the options that are available to you? Would it be helpful to lose some of the thoughts that you're thinking? What needs to be eliminated? What needs to be taken out? What healing thoughts will help you open doors? As you think, so shall you be, right? Communicating, writing from the soul, that's going to help you get stuff out of here and into the atmosphere, right? You can always light it on fire safely, of course. Mars square Pluto, be very safe about that. But you can send it up in a candle or incense, like a prayer upwards, right? So June 17th through 23rd, this is a tough week. It looks tough. That's why I was up on like, let's get you biochemically regulated well in advance before this week starts to hit and come into play. Cloudy, confusion, caution lights, June 17th through 23rd looks like a difficult week where there's some indecision. So leave room for delays, leave room to think about things. Venus and Mercury enter Cancer, and so they'll conjunct, right? They'll be right next to each other. They'll kiss in the sky, hold hands, and then they'll both square Neptune. The sun is also going to square Neptune, right? Because Neptune's over there in Pisces. So this is caution lights, confusion, delusion, a square to Neptune. Neptune dissolves, Neptune fades, Neptune takes away, Neptune blends, Neptune puts us into our spiritual side. It's into the mystic. It's mysterious, right? It's not clear. So there's challenges when we want things to be clear and they're not. And some of us will be going through that dark night of the soul, have questions that we can't answer. We're learning to have faith, right? We're learning to be comfortable in the mystery. This is, you talk about Venus and Mercury and Cancer. It's all very pleasant. Spend time with your family, do home reunions, family reunions at home, find some creature comforts, stock up on those, spend time around water, find a natural spring-fed pool and dip your toes into it. Downtime is not wasted time. Lower energy helps us relax, right? There's a season for all of that. In the height of summer, where I'm reporting from, slowing down is about all you can do because we have 110-degree heat index, right? So because it's like it's a nuance in astrology. Yeah, those things are happening, but they're happening in a challenge to Neptune. So Neptune rules the seas. It rules overdosing. You could see some addiction tendencies. You could see some incorrect use of medication or alcohol, right? So this could be a time when somebody says enough is enough and I'm ready to get sober, right? This could be a time when somebody says there's something up with my water. I finally want to invest in that Berkey or that water filter that you like, right? So things to consider. June 20th, the sun enters Cancer. And so this is one of the big turning points in astrology. This represents the next quarter turn. And for me, I'm going to be doing a class about how to activate the summer solstice astrology for my membership. I'm really excited about teaching it because it's not traditional. It's not what you think. And it's not just like happy joy. Let's light some orange candles and make some orange tea cakes and celebrate the sun. There's some challenging astrology, and I want my members to be aware of that. So if you would like to try the membership for free for 1 month, please use the code 1month, all spelled out, ONEMONTH, and you can enjoy the classes, the psychic readings. The benefits of the membership also include a weekly email that I send to you every Friday that has a special reading for your sign in it. So it's a fun membership. There's a lot of perks, and you can join for 1 month for free if you would like to participate. My summer solstice class, it's going to be a lot of fun. June 21st, Mercury is going to sextile Mars, and so there is more clear thinking. There is more power in this. Like there's more energy return. So if you've been lethargic, things have been confusing, there's like a little bit more clarity finally coming into focus here. Cool. So Friday, June 21st, we've got a full moon at 1 degree of Capricorn. So there's just that blip of up before we get that blip of, ooh, confusion again. So the full moon in Capricorn, right? The intention I wrote is I feel fulfilled every day in every way and feel deeply at peace in my core. So Capricorn, we know, rules things like ambition, drive, business, government. It also is an earth sign. It rules crystals. It's a feminine earth sign. So think Stevie Nicks, think about this crystal grids, think about, you know, contributing to the earth, doing something good for Mama Earth, gardening, earth magic. Public image is another Capricorn thing. So Capricorn is a sea goat. So there's this on land and at sea, there's this intuitive vibe and this there's this very like yang and yin side of Capricorn. I think it's one of the most misunderstood signs. It's very nuanced. So with the full moon in 1 degree of Capricorn, what we're doing is we're getting insight on a lunar cycle that started December 23rd of 2022 and will complete on March 22nd of 2025. All of those dates are in my digital astrology calendar, which is on a huge sale right now. You can go to tiffanyharlick.com in the astrology tab or the shop tab and find it that way. But I have all the dates, all of the degrees, all of the nuances listed there for you. But one of the things I really want to point out on this June 21st full moon in 1 degree of Capricorn is that 1 degree of Capricorn has 2 fixed stars that are challenging, that are considered unfortunate, right? The language is kind of dated there, but they both indicate trouble with the eyesight, vision. So I want you to be aware of that. I want you to protect your eye health, stimulate your eye health, wear protective eye gear if you need to. There can be a sense of hopelessness with 1 degree of Capricorn. There can be a sense of metaphysical blindness, not being able to see what's in front of you, not being able to see your gratitude list, things like this. So this could be set up to be a really challenging full moon, right? So just be aware that there's excess energy. The tides are high. People's emotions are high. They feel more passionate about what they're saying. Again, the month of June, try to not take things personally. Don Miguel Ruiz, right? Okay. Now, yeah, right behind that full moon, Mercury is going to square the nodes. I think you're going to get some deja vu, some interesting dreams, to say the least. Something about your vision, your inner vision. Set the intention to have that clear and be healthy and safe and have the best vision of your life, right? Just reverse that. So June 24th through 30th, there is a plot twist going on. Mercury will sextile Uranus this week. You're going to find out what is and isn't working. So the whole month, I feel like I've painted kind of a roller coaster ride for you, and by the end of the month, it might all change anyways. So it's best to not be super reactive this month because it's probably going to change anyways, right? It is going to change. That's just the nature of life. But this week, Venus is going to square the nodes. Mercury is going to square Chiron and trine Saturn. Venus is going to sextile Mars, right? That's a potentially good day. So we were talking about June 4th through 6th, but also look at June 29th. If the plot twists in your favor, it could be a really good thing. Good chemistry, good romance, good just those lessons in chemistry of what we're attracted to, what our magnet is attracting. Um, so, that's a whole other potential for a really good day. Also on June 29th, Saturn will retrograde in Pisces. So Saturn's in its kind of the last little pieces of Pisces right now. Saturn in Pisces for the last 3 years-ish, it's been about spiritual discipline, cultivating your meditation practice, cultivating your spiritual practices, right? In the morning, I play holy music. I get on my knees to do my prayers. I consider what I'm devoted to. I go to yoga, I go to church, I do things in that are my own spiritual practices, right? And so you've been building those up for you too. Maybe you've been training, maybe you've been certified in some sort of spiritual teaching capacity. That's all great. Saturn is going to retrograde in Pisces and give you a chance to review all of that June 29th all the way through November 15th. So observe where you can kind of loosen your grip a little bit, see what the laws of the universe are, the laws of the harvest, the laws of plenty, right? The laws that help you just kind of stay on the straight and narrow, so to speak, that good, clean living, right? And just observe, right? Observe, enjoy the ride. Saturn is going to move into Aries, and so is Neptune next year in 2025. And I have some serious aha moments about what it means for Neptune and Saturn to be in Aries next year. I have a reading list if you're interested in that. And I'm just really surprised at the downloads I'm personally getting about what this is going to mean for all of us. So it's my responsibility to convey what I see in the skies as ethically and neutrally as possible. And I just feel really passionate about this, which doesn't feel neutral. So I'm going to wait till it neutralizes before I share what I'm seeing. But I am excited, and I do think it's positive. Yeah, and so that is the end of the month. The end of the month is road less traveled. The end of the month puts you in a place where you might feel persecuted, judged, or like people think you're crazy for making this big, huge change. You were going right, going right, going right, and all of a sudden you're going left, right? So all of those feelings could come up for you to alchemize, change, and work out of your system. So enjoy the ride. Like it's going to be uppy and downy. It's going to be topsy turvy. Be aware of that. Like those good dates, June 4th through 6th, are awesome. That new moon right in Rigel, in Orion's foot. Like there's so many holy scriptures that point to the importance of Orion and how we are reflecting some of the, I guess, frequencies from the Orion constellation here on Earth, right? So God made the heavens, God made you. This is a study of creation, and it should be positive, fun, fascinating. Never use my astrology against yourself if you are sitting there feeling like afraid or nervous. We got to change that, because that is not the point of me doing this podcast. The point is for you to be aware of the energy that's out there so that you can navigate wisely, but not control it, right? But not control it, right? So I hope this has been useful to you. Thank you for all your sweet comments for the May forecast. That meant a lot to me. And if you're not already on my newsletter, I'd love to have you. I'll put the link below. And this is a look at June 2024. Let's see what happens, guys. Namaste.